think about 4 years, is it? Or I think so. I think it's been four. We kind of forget the COVID year, but you know, it was a year almost now today. But and so when I met Ali, actually, I had just started my own property management company. I was doing both for a while, being salaried, and I will go into that a little bit more as well. But I just kind of want to explain a little bit about what I thought life success was and what I've kind of come to realize life success to be to me, and maybe it will speak to someone. So I literally spent most of my life giving to others, which is actually a quality that I love about myself, and it's really something that I totally enjoy. However, I had misinterpreted, I think, somewhere along the way, as we often do, according to how we're raised and in what society, and that giving and giving and giving and giving and giving is fine as long as it's coming from the right place, which is just very simple generosity, and not giving in a way to please, or we think that we need to give in order to be liked or be loved in some kind of way. But I didn't realize this, of course, about myself at all, at the time. I just kept going. And then I found a love. I moved to France in 2004, fell in love. In my like-minded normal self, I found a job within 3 weeks of arriving in Paris, full-time job. And after a couple jobs, I landed on a great job with an American company within the hospitality field, which started my property management and servitude journey, which was really excellent for me because it enabled me to connect with my American side and have all these amazing American clients. I really did enjoy helping them plan amazing vacations in France. And I started a wonderful journey, got married, felt like I was on the top of my game, was working 7 days a week, never stopping, inviting friends over, inviting family, and just really continuing on that path, which I had originated in my earlier years. And then I had one child, and life totally changed for all you moms out there as well. Completely changes your life. But I did not change my life. I continued to work 7 days a week and have friends over on weekends and, go out of my way. Right. And everything was okay. I started to have maybe a little bit resentment here and there during that period of time because I felt like I didn't understand why nobody was giving back to me when I continuously gave and gave and gave. And a little resentment started to grow. And between my husband and I, a little resentment started to grow at that time, And then I had my second child, beautiful. 2 girls I have. And with my second child also, I seem to have not learned from the first. And I continued to go and go and go and go nonstop. And, I was a little easier with the second child in the way that I was, with the child raising, a little bit more cool. And that helped a little bit. But I saw after about a period of 3 years after my second child, a degradation of my energy level completely. So I just was really working on empty. But again, I didn't realize any of this. I just didn't. I seriously did not. I was completely depleted of everything, everything that I used to, the positives of my personality were slowly slipping away. because there was nothing left to grasp onto, because I was seeing the world in the wrong way. And I was thinking the more that I worked, the harder that I worked, the harder that I went at it, this is how I would get to what I desired ultimately, which was what I would see around me, seemingly so, from other amazing women that surrounded me. Seemingly so, they loved their life. They were doing everything. They seemed like they were superwoman. And so I wanted to also be seen as a superwoman. I can do it all. I got this down, and I kept going and I kept doing it and I continuously doing it. Led me all the way up, I would say, to about 2016, 2017. And, the company that I was working for had to go into bankruptcy. Now, to let you know, in France, this gave me almost my full pay for up to 2 years. So finally, I could have taken a break. I could have realized at that point that I should maybe take a moment and realize what I would like to do. But did I do that then? No, not even then. I decided to open up my own company at that time because I panicked and I thought, that's it. I have no more job. I only have this amount of time before I can develop something. And, boom, what do I know? Property management, go. And that's when I met Allie. And funny enough, Allie at that moment in time was having she had already awakened, but she was having her I've had it up to here moment and having a life-changing career. And I met her at the perfect time because she passed me all of her apartments and I was starting a company, and it was just a perfect thing, seemingly so to me at the time. And I continued, and I didn't say no to anyone that wanted me to work with them. I said yes. Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because the harder that I worked, if I was to, be successful, then I would need to do this. Uh-oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to pause for 1 second and let everyone catch up. It says that my internet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. Keep going. Don't worry, because it's recording as well, so I can always swap it out. So it's all good.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay, that's great. And so I kept going. And I will kind of sum up, but this is really the journey that I want to explain, because I seriously was completely misled and living a life completely within the eyes of others and how they perceived me. And I pushed myself completely to the side, completely, just thinking that, not even thinking, I would suppose, but completely living out what was contradictory to what I actually desired, which was to be fulfilled within my own self. So fast forward to kind of having a coming to the universe moment where the rug was pulled underneath me in sorts in my personal life. And I really had no choice but to face all of this and to re-examine, what did I want in this life? What am I looking for really? And what am I doing? And why is this not working? And I realized also that I just couldn't do it alone. I'm really quite capable of doing a lot of things alone. However, at this moment in my life, I realized, wow, like it takes an army to do everything. And you need support when you're going through times like this. And when you're feeling, you're in suffering, really. I mean, just complete suffering, you really need support. And thankfully the universe, brought us together. I know that that's not for, and obviously there are no coincidences. Um, and, Ali, you've helped me immensely among other amazing people that have been brought into my life. And, it really is completely different when we can connect with each other, when we can talk it out, when we can connect, when we can co-create, when we can, we're always all together in some sorts. We're all connected, but, it helps to be connected more often. Like, I mean, I've done a completely 360. I'm nowhere finished. I mean, it's going to be a very long journey. I definitely have my bad days. I definitely, constantly need to be aware of where I'm placing my energy and my thoughts. It's not something that you just kind of get there and you're like, okay, now I'm perfect and awesome. My life is amazing. And my life is amazing. But that's also because I realize it's amazing. And I also have to work at it, and so, but just taking that first step, taking that first step into release of the suffering that we all go through and carry so much on our shoulders, and allow ourselves to just be in that surrender mode and say, oh, I need help. Somebody help me, and we're here to help each other. And what brought to me doing this right now in my new found after this year of searching and existing and just allowing things to come and really doing a lot of hard work, healing parts of myself that weren't healed. Again, I'm not even done with that. However, I've come a long way. I'm really happy about it. And now I really want to help others through sound, mainly to find their authentic voice, to be able to use that authentic walk in the world. The voice is probably the most powerful instrument in the whole entire world. And we each have one. And sometimes we don't know how to use it. And even when we do use it, we use it to scream. And sometimes we use it to make others happy besides ourselves. Sometimes we use it to not speak truth. So my whole kind of goal in working on myself and also sharing all of this, and I'm also going into a lot of different frequency and sound vibration therapies, and I'm going to see where it leads me. But I am a singer. I went to school for singing. I never actually became a singer because I was such a perfectionist that I just could never get there. I could never get to my perfectionist voice. So I just, I let it go because in my mind, I had to be perfect. I know what perfect sounds like. It wasn't me. And so you're not going to be a singer, Natalie. That's, what I said. You're just not going to do it. And that's, ridiculous. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. Sound and everyone's particular sound and the way that they can communicate to others is really the most powerful tool that we have in the world. To connect each other is use our own voice and share it and share our stories. And I really want to help others take that step out of themselves and be able to feel their voice in a way that they've never felt it, so that they can gain that confidence and use it in a more specific way and communicative way. And so I'm learning tools right now in the next year. It's been pushed back a little bit, but I'm learning tools right now, to really, really be the master of that and really be able to teach it in, a way that the tools that people can understand and use. So, that's my little spiel. I mean, I think it was long. Sorry.
No, it wasn't long at all. It was you presented that so beautifully, like really. And what I love, Natalie, is your journey. Like, it's actually really interesting how similar we are in terms of moving to France and having 2 children and having the same kind of breakdown, for want of a better word. But like, I think it resonates with a lot of people, because any change, like it creeps up, I mean, it really crept up on me, my thing, it's unstable.
Oh, yes.
Things creep up on us, for sure. So, and it's only until we're at breaking point, I believe, sometimes, when we're not strong enough to use our voice and learn to say no, that, it just, like, everything grinds to a halt until we're forced to say no. And there's so much in that learning process, especially also having children, which we suddenly take on this new identity of being mom, that no one trains us to do that. Like, all the feelings and emotions and that go with that, and body changes, and like, why doesn't someone teach us that, in terms of like what's actually, well, here we go, here's another, now you're going to lose your identity for a bit, but don't worry, because you're going to come out the other side. But what you have to do is be careful, because you have to make sure that you ask for help. I'm sure our parents did say all of that, but we didn't hear it. Like,
I think also is that since the society changes for every generation, we're lumped up in a misconception. You see, our mums were coming in women's lib, right? And so women's whole right to work and women's equality. And so our moms didn't want to pass on to us the fact that you're going to change, or that it doesn't, in that way, it's like, you have every right to be exactly, like a man. And so there were certain things that were missing in that generation, I think, as well, because of all the changes, but I agree.
We had to get on with it and adapt and figure it out on our own, and it was our choice that we chose to move away and not have childcare on the doorstep. Our parents, it's been quite a journey. And so I hear you 100%, and I feel, it just resonates for so many people, I feel, as well, at this kind of, between 30s and 40s and having kids and not being able to, just being a yes person and needing to be needed. And yet, gosh, like, really now, with the coaching world and everything that's out there and the opportunities, like, we don't have to struggle in that way on our own anymore. It's like, I think it would be such a beautiful thing now for people to realize that it's coming and that it's okay and that it's a process, but they don't have to do it alone. Right. And like, to be able to, like, exactly like you just presented.
Yeah, I think also it's,
it's important to know this stuff, like, really.
It's really, really important, Ali. And it's something that the universe tried to tell me, I remember, but I was not the same person that I am today. And so I did not see the signs as signs. I saw them as mountains to get over and continue climbing. And, and you're right. You just don't know until you have no other choice. And that's okay, because that's often how life is, as you say. But to know that it's coming and to say, I am not going to do this alone. To seek out any way that you can to anyone that has already been through what you've or what you're going through.
Absolutely. And how, sorry to ask you this, how old are you? Remind me how old you are.
40.
Right. So you're just
40, almost 41. in May.
It's behind me almost as well, because I had this amazing realization, which I'm actually going to come into the group and share this at some point this week. I've got builders here at the moment. It's a bit chaotic, but I will figure it out and I'll come in and share. But I had this. So what I know is that, we all know every 10 years is like the 40, the 50. I'm 50 this year. And it's to be celebrated, like really, because we should look back on our life and say, whoa, like, and I was reminded the other day by a post on Facebook, and it does like your anniversary, 10-year anniversary. This thing came up and I thought, oh my God, was that only 10 years? I swear it feels like it's 20. So much has happened in 10 years. It is extraordinary. And that's been my like huge chunk. And maybe for you, it's been like between the 30, not even, but you're, coming up to 40. And what's so interesting is this, which I will be talking about later in this, when I come back in and share. But this, the thing about archetypes is that we have our, like every 10 years, it's like we get to transition from, we'll always be a mother, but we get to transition into one of the other archetypes that's always been there. It's kind of mapped out waiting for us to arrive. But it's now our opportunity to dive into that and really play on that. And I heard a story the other day about a woman who has the clown archetype. She's really fun. She's got this character. She's like the person at the party that always kind of gets everything going. And she was turning 60. And she, obviously realized her archetypal patterns of behavior were kind of all in place. She was good at music, she was the musician, she was this, she was that, in terms of her personality traits. And then this clown one, she was like, well, I'm turning 60. This is kind of big. What am I going to do for the next 10 years of my life? Like, what am I going to work on now? I'm doing the job I love, and it's another transition the next 10 years. Mm. She decided to take clowning classes, and she learned to be like this, like comedian and entertainer, and she just, her business took off and she became really successful. So it's just so interesting to kind of, we've always known where our talents lie. And the thing is, we kind of, I think in our youth as well, we think, oh, that would be a nice idea to do that. Or I'd really like to do that. And sometimes it's just not a fit for who we are. But there are things that are a fit for who we are.
Definitely.
And from whether it's being a parent or coming out of parenthood or at this kind of age, 30, 40, 50, it's like looking inside and saying, well, look, what am I good at? Like, what is my next step? What is the next thing that I'm going to move into doing? And looking at those, natural, intuitive, special traits that we have within us to say, right, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what I love about everybody's story, actually, is that they've just, over time, they've found their way. And it's always been in them. So for you, the singing and using your voice, isn't it interesting? It's always been there. It's just been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think it's amazing as well. And I'm sure that most of us have so many talents that we may not even know about necessarily. And it is a process to go through. And, we do all want to help in some kind of way. And there are so many different ways to do that. Even as you said, in being a clown, an entertainer, there are so many ways, working at a school or, working on computers. Really, it doesn't really matter what you do. You can find a way in what you do and what you enjoy doing to serve others in some way.
Yes.
Using your talents, because once you use your talents, it's quite effortless.
Mm. And I think that, the people who are, well, it's I see it with a lot of people in, throughout life, their life transition is they are going into work where they are serving others ultimately. And I just feel for those people that are maybe afraid to do so, or they're stuck doing some work that where they're not serving others, where they like to, or I just think it's a no-brainer. Like, really, it's time to, like, just because there is so much in giving, isn't there? It's just so, because it's connection, it brings out that part of us that, it's attracting great conversations with great people. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes, awesome. Absolutely. No, absolutely. And in any case, even if it's not someone's work where they earn money, there's so many other possibilities outside of that. If it really is a situation where you are not fulfilled with what you do for a living, which is completely understandable, as many of us have been down that road, regardless if we enjoy what we do or not, sometimes we're not fulfilled by it. And so finding other ways to already fill up your soul, your heart first and foremost, fill up your cup, fill up your dream life within, then will enable you to figure out how to share that light with others. But you definitely have to fill it up and go deep and really nourish your inner desires and truths before you can have that shift, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we can still be completely silly and, have a lot of fun. And, it's not, like I said, I probably have about, 30 different personalities and they're all me.
Yeah.
It's just true. I mean, depending on who I'm hanging out with, different parts of myself will come out. And that's what's the beauty about being able to connect, and surround yourselves with other people that allow, those funky sides to come out, as long as it's, in a great, positive, encouraging environment,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my love. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go because she's with family in the moment. So thank you so much, love, for sharing. Like, really, you're so inspiring, and you really are. And I'm so happy to be spending so much time with you. I know it's been mostly time.
Thank you. I hope that I'm relatable. That's the most. I think we're all so similar, Yeah.
And what I love about what you're going to do now as well is it's unique. I mean, that's really different, You're using your talents, and it's just, I'm really excited to see what's
Me too. I'm excited.
Really, really excited.
So am I. Well, thank you so much, Ali, and everyone, and I will talk to you really soon.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to get back to you with an update. We've got Jennifer Lovelace sharing a talk with us on Friday, and then I'll be in touch about some time to share with you mine as well. So have a great day. Lots of love. And if you have any questions, Natalie, anybody wants to contact you or they have questions.
Please do. That would be a pleasure for me.
Check the thread, see if there's any mentions there for you. All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.